Hey Scott Hilton, Scott Talks. Out for a ride. Saw a few videos on the new Rivian. New also e-bike by Rivian. Yeah, it looks interesting. It's going to be out 2026, they say. Probably about 4,500 for the entry level. Should be another level that's a little above that. Interesting software programming. Interesting use of the pedals, they say, is like a double motor. And you can pedal, and then you're not really pedaling. It feels like you're pedaling, and the motor is taking over. It was interesting. It self-locks, kind of, so you walk away. Your phone is your key, and I'm sure there's a password protect where you can just enter the password and get on the bike if you lose your phone or your phone dies. And it's got a little horn supposedly coming soon. It's got a little beep horn now, but you can upgrade it. It's going to have downloadable software, just like the car, Rivian. So that's cool. It looks neat. It's promising. It has exchangeable, quick change seats that can change to a regular seat, to a cargo seat, to, just whatever you need, a long seat, long padded seat, whatever you need, all of a sudden it becomes a different bike. It's got some shocks up front to cushion, and if you want to get on dirt roads, you can cushion as you ride. So they're trying to be every bike for everybody. And it's got swept back handlebars, kind of like my bike, for easy riding, sit up position so you can casually go about your day. And I was like, well, that's interesting. That is interesting. It's an interesting concept. I'm a little worried, they said double drive, so maybe the pedals could take over. I mean, if something happens to your phone, you can password protect around it, maybe. If, someone tries to take it or wiggle it, it'll send you an alert on your phone to let you know. And if they take your bike, you can disable it remotely. You can disable your phone remotely by grabbing your iPad and say, my phone's gone, I got to disable it so no one can use my phone and get into it or anything like that. So you can disable the bike so they can't really use it for anything, which is interesting. Battery comes out, and I saw a girl in a video that was getting a guy to help her put it back in. I was like, that's not interesting. That's a little bit of an issue maybe. And it could have been just a glitch, or she could have said, how do you do this? How do you do this again? And it's her first time really doing it. That's all right. Maybe it'd be all right. Because a lot of thieves like those batteries. They're locked up, but they'll kick and kick until they break it loose and steal your battery and sell it on Amazon or someplace, or Facebook Marketplace. Oh, I just got this battery and I'm not going to use it, and got rid of the bike and I forgot. And I need a couple $100 for the battery. Yeah, so whatever. But it looked like it came off pretty easy, but I'm sure it's kind of self-locks in there. But really, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting first go at it. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting bike, I like swapping out the back and instantly having a rack for cargo, because I like the cargo concept. And I like just riding for fun, which would be the other seat. And it kind of disconnects the entire section of the bike and becomes, you have two seats basically, one with a cargo thing attached and one with not, and it kind of clicks in and locks in. And I'm like, well, interesting. My thing is, if everything's locking up when you're not using it, will you be able, when it does die one day, something happens, will you be able to pedal on your own power to get home? Or will you be able to push the bike, even if the front locks up and everything acts up and the computer goes dead? Will you be able to push it home? Or can you call an Uber XL and get the guy to help you lift it up and throw it in the back and take it to the shop wherever you're getting it from, and they have equipment to work on it? That's always the thing with e-bikes, or any bike really. So it'll be interesting. So when the reviews come in, when it comes out in 2026, it's another bike on the market. And there have been so many brands that have come and gone and had issues, So electric is doing pretty well now. Avaton, something. And then, of course, big dealers like Trek and Specialized have their own version of e-bikes, and they're in the bike business. So, the thing with any bike, you don't want to get one of those Chinese bikes. You don't ever want to get a Chinese battery offline that's cheap, because the batteries are expensive. It's part of having the e-bike. Get a good battery that's not going to catch on fire. Don't get some third product, third market thing that's, yeah, it'll work on your bike. Don't worry about it. We've tested it. No. Get U.S. testing. Get the real thing. Plan on spending eventually when the battery dies to get a new battery. Okay? And support your bike shop. Don't just get one cheap online and then go into a bike shop and say, can you fix my bike? They're going to be like, we don't have parts for that. And we could try to order it. Where's the part supplier? I don't know. Don't y'all know? No, don't be a baby about it. Don't be a whiny little, you know what? I've dealt with customer service in my life. I've worked in customer service, and people just get so rude and hateful when they can't have their way. They want this and they want that. And I don't understand. I'm just gonna give you a bad review on Yelp or whatever. But yeah, thanks a lot. Get the hell out. That's what I would be saying. I'd be like, what in the hell is wrong with you people? And you gotta do your part. Buy it from a reputable dealer if you're getting an e-bike. Get a bike from a good dealer. If you get one from Facebook Marketplace, plan on the guy saying, I can't help you to fix it, and find the second guy to fix it, or go online or sell it yourself and take a little loss and get a real bike from the dealer that's got the parts. If they don't have the parts, they don't have the parts. If you get some special fat tires on your e-bike or regular bike or some kind of wild configuration and you need it fixed one day and they can't do it, they're like, well, we don't have parts for that. We can't manufacture something that'll fit in that little socket that's made different than all the other bikes that we sell. We don't carry that. And how are we going to get it? Where's the directions that came with the bike? Well, I didn't keep those. I thought y'all would have everything. Yeah, no, they're not going to keep. No. Do your part, and prepare to do a little bit yourself. Get the parts. If I get the part, can you put it in? That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get the part and hope they can put it in. And if they don't have all the parts that they need, or there's no way they can get it in, you're going to have to find someone else to try to get it in, or just take a loss on the bike. You pay once, you pay nice, and you pay once. You pay cheap, you might have to pay twice. So, or it's some saying like that. But yeah, just check online under also e-bike, and check it out. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept, interesting design. Rivian's got the technology. They got the financial backing. They're a pretty strong company, I think. And they'll hopefully be around in 5 years, because that's what you want. Someone that's going to be there 3, 4, 5 years later on when things go south and you got to fix it up. And you want someone that can help you fix it. That's how you find a good e-bike. You get a brand that you trust. And, Rad is finally, they had issues in the past. God, they had issues. The fire and batteries and stuff. Now they're trying to come out of that. So Rad, cautious if you get that brand. But, try your specialized Trek dealer and see what they've got. The Avalon, the electric, LEC type thing. They're pretty strong brands. So, and check Consumer Reports and different things, and check online, see what everyone's saying. The one way to find a really good brand or a good e-bike is, my bike is just as good as this electric bike or Avalon bike. So the Avalon and the electric are good. You see what I'm saying? My wife got a Honda CR-V years ago, and now she's got a Passport. She likes the bigger car. It's quieter and thicker insulation and stuff. But this CR-V was great, and she was looking at the Nissan Rogue and the Toyota RAV4, and she just wanted another small SUV, and Saturn was out of business. And I kept telling her, I said, we got to go by Honda, because all these videos on YouTube say just as good as the CR-V, just as good. So obviously the CR-V is the best. And everyone's trying to say, hey, this Mazda is just as good. And you're like, well, great. This Land Rover, is great. No, not a Land Rover, but what was it? Outback. The Outback was just as good. So, there's different brands out there, and different models and different things. But, there's always somebody saying, we're just as good as which you would think is number one. So that's how you tell. You know, if everyone's saying the CRV, I'm just as good as the CRV, you get the CRV. Okay, you really take a good hard look at the CRV. And you can get the Toyota RAV4 if you want, fine. But it's probably number 2 in that market. But, you know, it's up to you. You know, check it out, see if it feels right. Want to know the test when you're getting old, like me, getting that white hair, where a good car is? Because I showed my wife a Toyota, what was it? I like the Highlander. It was big like the Passport, but there was one a little bigger. And my wife walked up to it, looked at it. I'm not crawling, because she's shorter than me. And she looked at that, and she would have had to step up real high to get into the stupid thing. And she said, I'm not getting into that thing. You know, no, that's not going to happen. And so that was it. I said, so we need technically, and if it's too low to the ground, I remember a customer who had a Jaguar, and he loved his Jaguar. And but he had the hardest time getting out of that car because it was so low to the ground. And he would pull himself on the steering wheel and then reach up and grab and pull and get out. And I said, is it time to trade into a new car? He said, no, I'm keeping my Jaguar. And he kept it till the days when he couldn't drive anymore, where he had to get a driver, someone to drive him. And of course, they sold the Jaguar. And but yeah, that was his baby, and he loved it, and he didn't care if he couldn't get it. He could barely get in and out of it. But you just want to be able to sit in a sitting position and slide into that little seat. And you know you got the right height to get in, to get out, and that's the size that's probably the best size car for you. If you have to climb in and you're getting older, that's getting to be tough. If you have to have a bar back there to kind of step down on, you know, you got to still have that grip strength and that balance and stuff to get in and out of the thing. And that Passport's a little big for my wife, but it's not that big. She has a little step, and she's up, no problem, because we got the step for the bar across for the step. And she's good with that. She's happy. So that's good. That's good. But as you're getting older, that's the trick. And if you're into e-bikes, if you don't want to sweat like a little piggy going to work, if you're going to commute, you e-bike it. It's very little or no sweat. You just pedal like you're pedaling, and you got your little workout. It just is no workout. It's just pedaling and breeze and zipping through traffic and, you know, cheating a little bit, taking side streets to get around traffic jams, and find a place to park at work and get in. You're done. The day's over. You come back, and you come back with a different gear. You have the power level down, and you give it some pushing and some pedaling to get your workout in for the day. Then you can sweat. That's when you do it. That's when you get a little workout in, and you're like, yeah, I got my workout. I worked all day sitting on my butt, but I worked out. So I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Look into walking or biking or swimming or something to keep fit, keep physically active. And e-bikes count. Studies have shown that a lot of times people go further on e-bikes. So they're pedaling and pedaling and pedaling. They're not pedaling hard, but at least they're pedaling and pedaling and pedaling and going 10 miles. I met an older guy in the neighborhood down the street, and he was like, oh yeah, I usually go about 10 miles a day. I was like, really? Wow. I'm happy if I've gone 4 or 5 miles, you know, going grocery shopping. And that's why I've got the cargo bike. I cheat, and I've got a little thermos in there, igloo cooler, and ice blocks and stuff. I got 3 cold items with me today. And heading home, it'll be all right. It'll be cold when I get it there, even out in the sun here in Florida. So you like, share, and subscribe. Stay fit. Keep doing what you got to do to stay fit. Definitely walking. But e-bikes count as one step above walking in the fitness game. And then regular cycling is the next step up. But if you're e-biking 10 miles every day and you're only cycling 5, you see the difference a little bit. You're getting further off. You're getting a better workout out a little bit. So it counts as fitness. Walking counts as fitness. They say, what is it, Japanese walking or something, where you walk fast for 3 minutes and slow for 3 minutes and fast for 3 minutes, is supposed to be really good for you. I've done a little bit of fast walking, but I was like, I'm going to have trouble keeping up with these 3 minutes. Maybe I could do a block and then not a block, then a block and then slow down a block. You know what I'm saying? That would help me keep up. But you do you, and have a great day. Give you a thumbs up.